I would listen to like a great speaker and I would say like, oh, that's an interesting word. Let me write it down. And in those days, actually look for it in the dictionary and then try and use it either in an essay or in my own kind of speaking and things like that. So I think without journaling formally, I've always used it as my little sketch pad to what's happening on the inside for me.
Do you have like a structure when are there like certain journal prompts that you have, or do you just do free association where you just write freely?
So I think, let me start off by saying that I think let's debunk this idea of some of the things that people think journaling is, right? So journaling is not Dear Diary, I'm in love with Sarah or with George. Necessarily, it could be that for you. And so for me, it's something that when you write something down, it fundamentally changes the frequency of it. As you said, it creates objectivity for it. But most importantly, for me, it fits into that action reflection model. So I act, I reflect, and then I act again, and then I reflect. And so it need not be super formal and structured, but just that ability to be able to have a look at things on paper fundamentally changes the frequency of it. And so for me, there are two parts to it. There is the self-care leadership development stuff, which I think is really, really important, because the notion of leadership development is the ability to be self-aware, the ability to lead yourself. And so whether that's in the workplace, in your life, as an entrepreneur, whatever that is, that ability to be able to lead yourself, I think journaling is very important in that. Then there's a second aspect to it, in my opinion, which is the almost subject matter content stuff, right? So you write it down, you draw pictures of it, you find you like a word that someone used and wrote that down, and you come back to it. And I found myself even as a high school student, I was always fascinated by the words that people used. I would listen to like a great speaker and I would say like, oh, that's an interesting word. Let me write it down. And in those days, actually look for it in the dictionary and then try and use it either in an essay or in my own kind of speaking and things like that. So I think without journaling formally, I've always used it as my little sketch pad to what's happening on the inside for me. And so there's just an absolute release that comes with being able to put something down. And then I think another way of thinking about it is that what you write down is really a window to your soul, right? So if you do sort of just free flowing about what the anxiety that you're feeling or the excitement that you're feeling or whatever those emotions are, when you put them down, it allows you to kind of see what's actually going on and bubbling up inside you. And I think the other thing is that I think people, very often we're looking for the answers and knowledge from the outside. And I think similarly, even for me on my journey to Nepal, I went and I was almost a spiritual tourist. I was like, what can I learn about the meaning of life and what's happening? And you realize that the ability to unlock and synthesize your own wisdom, and even the generational wisdom that's come before you in society and in your life is a very, very powerful thing. And journaling is one of the best ways to achieve that.